Hello everyone, today we have a deck that was navigated to the top 4 of Ursiiday's most recent Pocket Tournament, which this one had 1,500 players, and this deck was able to maintain its wins up to 4th place when it finally got knocked out. The deck is going to be an Ekans Wheezing Wigglytuff deck. Now, there is only one copy of Jigglypuff and only one copy of Wigglytuff, but honestly, it felt fine. A lot of times with Wheezing, you're going to stall long enough that you're going to dig through the majority of your deck until you can find your Jigglypuff, your Wigglytuff, and then once you get that online, you are an absolute monster. With Arbok needing only 2 energy, Wheezing needing only 1, you have a lot of extra energy after the first few turns of the game to dump into your Jigglypuff or Wigglytuff. And for this one, we use the promo. Most of the time, you're not going to use the 1 energy attack with Jigglypuff. So if you don't have the promo, or if you didn't get it, or if you don't want to get it, a regular Jigglypuff would probably be fine. But this deck is very similar to the one that kind of exploded in popularity as Mewtwo was reigning king with the Ekans Arbok, the Coughing Wheezing. We have doubles of both of those. But that one always felt kind of bad if you didn't find your Coughing line, if you weren't able to find a Koga to get your kind of tankiness going. This one feels like it kind of resolves that a little bit by having that additional basic and evolution Pokemon. By having 1 additional basic outside of your original 4, if you draw into all of your basics and then you find a Pokeball, you're still going to be able to thin your deck a little bit, giving you a better chance to draw into your evolutions, a better chance to draw into your Kogas or those pivotal pieces that you need, rather than having that Pokeball just be wasted. As far as the trainer cards, we have the double Sabrina, beautiful with the Arbok line, the double Professor's Research and double Pokeball, along with double X-Speed and double Koga. Double X-Speed allows us to be a little bit more versatile in pivoting, especially if we don't, find a Koga, but we need to get Wheezing off that front line. The Kogas are pretty self-explanatory. They allow this combo to be what it is and to do what it does. This deck can really stand up against just about everything that's out there right now. The person that ran it in Ursiiday's tournament, Sararu, was able to take down just about every type of deck. They took down an Articuno Greninja several times, 3 different water decks. They took down, it looks like they only faced 2 Mewtwo's, and the one they didn't need to win, so they just pushed for a tie. The other one they beat. They took down 4, 5, 6 Pikachus before finally losing to a Pikachu in the top 4. It took down a Charizard, Moltres, Arcanine deck, and everything that is kind of big right now. This one can still hold its own against. Versus when it was just Wheezing Arbok, it kind of felt like it was really susceptible and really only good into Mewtwo, and then fell to a lot of other decks. This one seems like it resolves that. I am going to take it into the Emblem event and see if we're able to get our 5 wins out of it right out of the gate. And so let's go ahead and jump in, see what we can make happen. Build up our Wigglytuff into eventually swapping it out. They get the Ponyta. The Burst Blain deck is a good one. It's strong, but it has some limitations. Unless you get really lucky early on with some good damage and some good burst potential. Whoa, they're running a potion, which I would not have expected in a Blain deck. Interesting. So in that case, we might be in a little bit more trouble than I thought. Let's go Coughing. We do get Koga. They could have Blain, or they could have Blain, which is the part that I'm a bit scared of. We can pivot their Ponyta into, or their Ninetales out into the Ponyta. But we're just going to hope. We're going to hope that they don't have what they need. Let's go Gas Leak. We're not going to be able to finish them off, but the good thing, unless they have another potion, Ninetales dies next turn. So after it attacks, it will die as well. And so then we need a bypass turn for Jigglypuff. And then we see they do have another potion. What are the chances? Do they have a Blain or some way to knock out our Wheezing, though? I think is the bigger question here. And they didn't attach onto Ninetales. So never mind. They're going to pivot into the Rapidash. with the X speed. It's fine. And so, I mean, Sabrina is looking really, really solid here now. Because we can finish off their big heavy hitter, which is the Ninetales. And then Rapidash can hit up to 70, but that's still within reason or limitation. So let's build into the Jigglypuff. I'm going to go ahead and evolve it just so that we don't get like cheeky pivoted with Sabrina into knocking out the Jigglypuff and then getting real sad. Let's go Sabrina. You thought you could run with the Ninetales, but you cannot. And then now we can go tackle. We don't even need to do the poison. We just finish it off with the 30 damage here. And they bring in the Rapidash. If they don't have a Blain to amplify their damage here, then our Weezing survives. We pull it back in with Koga, and we have our Wigglytuff in the front line ready to go. If they do have it, they get their second token. We throw Wigglytuff in, and we're still in there slapping bombs. They do have Blain, and so they are going to be able to finish off the Weezing here. Bit unfortunate, but not the end of the world either. If we happen to get a second Sabrina, we can finish the game. If not, odds are we survive at least a turn with the Sleepy Song. So Coughing, I'm not going to throw Coughing down. Go Professor's Research, see what we pull. Koga and another Professor's Research. Okay, we're not going to throw Coughing down just because I'm sure that they have a Sabrina somewhere. Odds are in their hand. So we don't want them to be able to make us pivot out of the Wigglytuff into an easy kill for them. So if Rapidash does not wake up here, we win. Doesn't matter what happens. It does wake up though. So there is a chance that they pivot into the Ninetales. So retreat out the Rapidash, put Vulpix in. They have Ninetales up and online. They can do up to 120 damage with their second Blain. Yep. They can't one-hit KO us, which is nice, but a bit scary. We have 5 cards to potentially find our Sabrina. So it's a 1 out of 5 pull. If we find Sabrina, then we can guarantee the win. If not, it comes down to a sleep. Comes down to keeping their Ninetales asleep. Our streak is alive, you guys. Our streak remains. Let's pivot them. And we are gonna probably see the retreat. The concede. We will take it. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Pikachu. We are going second, which is one of the first times today that I feel like I'm going second and I can attach the first energy. They are running a water deck. The last time I faced a water deck, they had a Gyarados and a Prayer. Gyarados as their last token Pokemon. They had 1 energy on him, and Misty hit 3 heads. And we lost, because once Gyarados is online, he's very scary. So we're hoping that doesn't happen here. The Golett is interesting. I'm assuming that it's not a dual energy, that it's just a staller in the front line, but I'm not absolutely certain of that. You get Jigglypuff. Let's go Jigglypuff. Let's get Coughing out there. Build into the Ekans. We can evolve them into Arbok next turn, so that if we make them pivot at any point, they won't be able to retreat. And Golett's weakness is darkness, and so a little bit of added benefit. He's not going to be the tank that they need him to be. They do start building onto Squirtle. Oh, no, it is a dual-type deck. Interesting. Blastoise requires so much extra water energy that I feel like doing that, you're really reliant on Misty, which is not a good way to build out your deck. They have the Golurk, which, if he is left to be built up, he can pump out some big damage, but most of the time it's pretty mild. Go ahead and throw the second... Do we throw the second Ekans? I'm not going to. I'm going to keep the second Ekans for now. But we are going to build up into good old Arbok here. Knock out the Golett. See if they throw in the Golurk. If so, then he only survives 2 turns. because of the typing advantage. And now we can start building up Jigglypuff. They do throw in Golurk, and so he's just meant to be that big tank as they're getting a Blastoise online, I imagine, because we are never going to let them get to 4 energy on this guy. Ever. Let's see what their other basic is. They went Pokeball. Lapras. Okay, so just trying to stonewall us? It only works for so long, my friend. Get the second Arbok. We want to build up a second Arbok? So that they won't be able to retreat at a certain point? We could, but I'm going to build up Jigglypuff instead. At least get 2 onto Jigglypuff, and then we can maybe pivot and start sprinkling onto like a secondary Ekans or whatever we need. So another Psychic Energy, not going to be helpful for Wartortle or Lapras. I'm so confused at what they thought was going to happen here. Unless they have Double Potion, which I've been hit with Double Potion more times than I care to admit the last couple of games. But it doesn't look like they're going to have Double Potion. We knock out the Golurk. Fine. Should have at least thrown it onto Blastoise, because Golurk is gone now. They leave? How are you going to rage quit when you run something super off meta? Maybe they didn't rage quit. Let's go destroy the Golurk here. And they'll throw in either Blastoise or Lapras, either one. We're going to be able to guarantee that it can't escape. Even if they somehow get it built up, we'll eventually have like our Wigglytuff, a backup Ekans, a Weezing to pressure that damage. There's the Lapras. Far from being able to attack, though. Unless they get super lucky with the Misty, but that feels like kind of a waste. Rousey, okay. Super interesting cook. The Professor's Research. We have the secondary Arbok. We get another Professor's Research, and we find our Wigglytuff EX. So let's go ahead and throw him, it. Let's build up the Ekans. I'm going to go ahead and evolve the Ekans into Arbok as well. And then now we go ahead and continue cornering them. Even if they knock out somehow, by some grace, they knock out the first Arbok, we have the second one. Or we have Wigglytuff to put them to sleep. They're playing on borrowed time now. They're standing in the way of our second victory. And we do get the retreat. We will take it. We'll take the second win. Let's go ahead and jump over into our third. All right, next up we have TJPB. We are going first again. We had a short reprieve and then back to going first. But if we can find Weezing somewhere in our deck, please, hopefully we can find Weezing. That would allow us that first evolution. And we're also looking for like Professor's Research and any other basic Pokemon, so Pokeball would be nice too. It's a fire deck. They get Moltres out on the jump. Oof. And then they have the double Charmander. And so we need a poison we don't have here. Poison would be nice, but let's see. We have a lot of basics in our deck. We have the extra one with the Jigglypuff to make sure that Pokeball always has value, and we can always have extras on that backline to be building up. But it looks like we may have had a really bad flip here. They are going to get the Moltres attack first. So I'm stressing a little bit. It could always come down to like a last turn Jigglypuff. They do go with the Pokédex, which is starting to see some rotation into the game. If they have like another Pokeball, sometimes that dictates how they use that Pokeball. Tail is beautiful. Ah, man. That's a good start for them. It's a beautiful start as they're looking to ramp up their Charmeleon. We do get Weezing, so also a good start. That way we can start chipping away at the Moltres, hopefully before it becomes much of an issue. And then now, ideally, we find like the Wiggly or the Jigglypuff, so we can start adding energy onto that. If not, the Ekans and Ekans. I'm just glad that we have the poison chip damage onto the Moltres. They have Charmander with the 3rd energy. They do have Charmeleon. Super scary. But it is going to be what it is going to be. You could always rely on an Ekans Arbok to make them pivot. Okay, good start. Good start. Good finish for us, not for you. We can always rely. There's the Jigglypuff that we do get to start building up. We could rely on an Ekans into Arbok with Sabrina pivot to get them off of their built-up Charizard into like something else, so that we can start chipping away at their health that way. Let's go build up onto the Jigglypuff. Nothing else right now. We don't need to do the gas leak. Let's just go ahead and tackle. And we are getting close to having them to the point where their Moltres will fall. They do get the Charizard. Unfortunate. And we don't have an Ekans. We don't have the Wigglytuff built up quite yet. Their Charizard could be at that max attack, but they would need an X speed. Which if they have... Okay. No. Good. Good. Slightly still alive here. Okay. So the 2-1, they get us paid back. And they build up their Charizard. So a Sabrina situation could be good. We get the Ekans. So looking pretty good. I'm actually really, really excited about seeing the Ekans here. So that means we can have the Arbok built up by next turn. Which means we do want to go ahead and finish off this Moltres between the Tackle and the Poison. We get 2 prize tokens, and then we're going to make them pivot. They're going to attack with their Charizard. Great. Huge. We're going to make them pivot off of it, and then they won't be able to retreat out whatever we pivot into. And so whether it be the Moltres or the Charmander, we're going to be peppering them with the Arbok and just really put them in a tricky, tough situation. And they continue to build up that Charizard. The Pokédex looking for whatever other outs they may need. Ooh, red card could be scary if they had it. I hope not, but red card there would be very, very scary. We're staring down a Charizard, which, if left unimpeded, super, super scary, super tough to beat. We even top deck an Arbok, so I'm gonna BM them a little bit. I'm gonna use that one so that they think it was the card we just drew, and then slap them with the Sabrina, not the full art. We're gonna save the full art for a little bit later. And actually, I don't know that we're gonna need the full art. We just need one Sabrina, because now Charmander, you're stuck. You got to go Moltres, and you're gonna buy an extra couple of turns. But can you stop us from attacking? Can you build up the Moltres fast enough to pump damage on us? I think the answer is no. I don't see a way. They could do Sabrina. That pushes us into Jigglypuff. We just retreat out the Jigglypuff, switch back into Arbok, and they're right back where they started. So Potion, okay, buying themselves a little bit of time, or trying to buy themselves a little bit of time, which is fine. We're going to have plenty of time to build into and draw into maybe one of the 2 Professor's Research in the bottom 10. Let's see. They have the Inferno Dance. Went blank. Tails? Tails? Oh my goodness. The Graces are smiling upon us. They don't get to build up anything here. We do get Wigglytuff. So even if we somehow get pivoted out, we can just finish off the Moltres with the Wigglytuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and evolve it just because we can. And then we're gonna corner one more time. That way Moltres cannot retreat. The only time we're not going to attack with a Moltres with an Arbok is if we're gonna finish off the Moltres. We do force the concede, and that is our 3rd victory. Let's go ahead and let it pop up so you guys can see that that we pulled the 3rd. Oh, well, I went quick, but we we got the third. Now we are looking at getting the fourth. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. All right, next up we have Battle Argent. Going first again. I feel like it's every game at this point. Let's start with a coughing and a prayer that we find wheezing, because then we don't mind going first. We do get a Pokeball, so we can draw into and thin our deck just a touch. We find wheezing. Oh my goodness. Then this is for our fourth win. And so things are looking pretty good at this point. I'm going to hold the Ekans for now. That way we can decide. We have an extra coughing as well. So maybe we end up with like double wheezing on the board instead of the double Arbok. With this being a psychic deck, if their Kadabra or Alakazam, not Kadabra, if their Alakazam gets fully online, very scary. Very, very scary, because it pumps out a lot of damage very quickly. But with us having the typing advantage, with us having coughing / wheezing right off the jump, it's beautiful. It's going to be so difficult for them to overcome. Let's go ahead and do, wow. Go ahead and do Professor's Research. Ooh, we get a second wheezing. So I'm going to BM him a little bit here and throw that second one out. Looks like we just top decked it, even though we had one sitting in our hand. Let's poison, and then we're going to finish off the Abra with our tackle attack. And so they are on the defensive very, very early on. So long, Alakazam. It's been nice knowing you. Ooh, we get the fourth win, which super fast into a concede. Now, I have seen a wheezing Alakazam deck that stalled well enough that it was very scary, very potent. But whatever they had, they didn't find the line, I guess. Let's go ahead and take the fourth win. We just need one more to finish off the event. Let's go ahead and see if we can do it. All right, for our final match, we have Snorlax. We do go second, so we get to attach the first energy. Let's go ahead and start coughing. I think we always start coughing. I think the wheezing is probably the better of the lines. The Pikachu EX, we could get some value out of Arbok in this matchup, being able to like lock them into a Pokemon up front so that they can't, retreat it out for free, or just overall a really cheap cost. But Zapdos EX comes down, which is my chase card. Some people are chasing like full art stuff. I just want any copy of Zapdos EX. I've been pulling Pikachu packs for about a month now. Can't find it to save my life. All right, let's go Professor's Research, and we'll see. We get another Professor's, and we get a coughing, a backup coughing. Let's go coughing Jigglypuff. I'm going to add on to this one so that we can start attacking. We have a backup Professor's Research to try to dig for the wheezing, so that we can apply a poison. They have base Pikachu, so they're gonna look to pivot into like a Raichu with just like a heavy finisher, and we're gonna hope that we can stop them from doing that. They do build up the frontline Pikachu, which I wasn't sure if they were gonna be building that one up or not, and then Pincurchin in the back line to try to like stall us out a bit. We get the beautiful wheezing. Let's go Professor's Research, see what we pull into. There's the Arbok, and then we get an X speed as well. So since we have the Arbok, let's go ahead and build up the Ekans, and go ahead and evolve this one. I want to make sure we don't add it onto the wrong one. That would be a bad day. And then we go Arbok here. Now, Gas Leak. We're looking for potentially a Koga. We're in our bottom 9 though, so we're deep into our deck. And we're starting to heavily damage this Pikachu. The most that they can do is 90. If they have a Giovanni, which a lot of times they don't, they could do a 100. Which is great for us. We can always pivot next turn with a double X speed into a retreat Arbok up front, finish off the Pikachu, since it is an EX Pokemon. And then we're just staring down like that Sabrina line. They do go Raichu into the Pikachu attack, which is fine. But they're not going to be able to do the Lieutenant Surge. We're not going to give them the satisfaction of being able to do that. We do get Wigglytuff, which is great. Let's add on to the Arbok. We're going to go X speed. Second X speed. Pull into the Arbok. We finish off the Pikachu, and they haven't built anything at this point. And so now, let's say they throw in the Zapdos. We can do a Sabrina, and we force them into Pincurchin. We force them into Raichu before they're ready. And I think with that, we will be able to win the game. I think we see a retreat come down, and I think we see our 5th win very, very soon. We just had a little bit too much of a bursty, hefty start. We had a really good line. We found our draw cards, and that was all that we needed. Even though we didn't find Koga, it's okay. We didn't need him. They do go with Peck, but we are going to throw in the... Wow, we have a second backup Sabrina if we needed it too. Go Sabrina here. They have no they have no prize tokens, and we have 2. We're looking at forcing into that 3rd one as soon as we can. We do get to concede. That is our 5th win. We were able to grab the highest level emblem from the event. 5 consecutive wins. And that is where we're going to go ahead and end the video. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. The deck itself is very consistent. I love matching into Mewtwo, into Pikachu. It can even do some pretty good things with how quickly it can kind of pump out some of its damage. And it runs the sleep, so sometimes we're just going to be living on a prayer with Jigglypuff / Wigglytuff. We're going to go ahead and end it there. Thank you guys, as always, for being here. This has been TLSG. Later, guys.